Hello everyone. Welcome to Database Management System Lab tutorial. This is Masiha Banu, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Information Science and Engineering at Rajiv Institute of Technology, Hassan.
DBMS Lab Program 5. Create cursor for employee table and extract the values from the table. Declare the variables, open the cursor and extract the values from the cursor. Close the cursor for the employee and with the following fields: employee ID, employee name, age and salary. Let's start the program. First here we have to create a table called employee by using any databases. Here I have created the database name PRG5. Then use that database. In the database, need to create the table called employee with the following attributes and their respective data types. Here, employee ID integer, employee name varchar, age integer, salary in decimal. So describe the table. Now you can see here the fields are created with respect to data types. Next, insert any 3 or 5 records into that table by using the following command: insert into employee and their values 1, 2, and 3. Now create a stored procedure with cursor. To create a cursor, for the employee table, extract the values using the cursor and then close the cursor in MySQL. Here we will need to use the stored procedure that supports the cursor operations. So first here we have to create a delimiter, then create the procedure followed with the procedure name. Here is a fetch employee table, then begin, and this is to declare the variables to store the cursor values. So that is the integer employee ID, name, age, and the salary. So then is to declare the cursor for the employee table. So here employee cursor for the employee table, select employee ID, name, age, salary, and the salary from the employee table. So next, declare a continue handler for the cursor. So there is a command declare continue handle for the cursor. So here is to set finish is equals to 1 and then open the cursor. So that is using open employee cursor. Then initialize a variable to control the cursor loop. Set finished is equals to 0 and then loop through a variable to continue cursor loop, that is set here set at finish is equals to 0. So loop through the cursor result. The cursor loop is equals to loop and fetch the next row from the cursor into the variable. So fetch the employee cursor into the next variables. Those are some employee attributes. And check if more rows to fetch. So then if it is, if at finished is equals to 1, then leave the cursor and end. So next is to output or process each row. For demonstration, print the values to select, count, employee ID. So this, and lastly you can as the employee info in the employee. So end the loop and end and close the cursor and end. So this will, the query will okay. So in this stored procedure, we declare the variables employee ID, employee name, employee age, and employee salary to store the values to retrieve from the cursor. The cursor, that is employee cursor, is declared to select the employee ID, employee name, age, and salary from the employee table. We declare a continue handler for not found condition to handle the end of the cursor data. The cursor is opened, that is open emp cursor, and a loop, cursor loop, is used to fetch each row from the cursor. We fetch values into the variable and process them within the loop for demonstration and print the values from a select statement. The loop continues until all the rows are fetched. So that is at finish is equals to 1. And then finally the cursor is closed, that is close EMP cursor. And lastly, execute the stored procedure. Once the stored procedure fetch the employee's data is created, you can execute it to fetch and process the data from the employee table. So there is a command to fetch the stored procedures. So that is, use the command called fetch employee details. You can see here employee info. So it is one name is Anu, age is 10, salary. All the 3 rows we have inserted, their detailed informations will be fetching. So which means to fetch the employee details by executing the stored procedures. Thank you.